Right then guys, in this video we're going to talk about my rules of money, and it holds true for 99.9% of people. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. There are people who break these rules and do have money. There are people who act in a different way and perhaps beat the stereotypes, but on the whole, from my experience throughout life, this is held true. So everything that I'm saying now applies to 99% of people, and you may know somebody who's slightly different, but this is pretty much across the board from what I've seen. So, number one, money talks, wealth whispers. Now, everybody that I know that kind of brags about their money doesn't have any money, or doesn't have even nearly as much as they pretend to have. And even the most successful guys that have got, expensive cars and yachts and stuff like that, and you look at it and you're like, yeah, but they're still not what they're quoting to be. I think everyone's trying to overplay themselves. I actually think you should pretend you have less than what you actually do. I actually think it has more benefits to your life, but everybody is faking it to some extent. The guy who's making $2,000 a month tells everyone he's making 4. The guy who's making $5,000 a month says it's basically 10. The guy who's making 10 grand a month says it's 30. And the guy who's doing 50 grand a month tells everybody he's worth, I don't know, like he's approaching 100 million or something like that. Like everyone over exaggerates it because they believe that's where they're gonna be in the future. And from my experience, like I said, money talks and wealth whispers. So people with a little bit of cash that are trying to impress others, they're the loudest, they got the most expensive stuff, they got the loudest car, they always go for a car that is like a bright color. And the people that have got real wealth are sticking it into real things. And I've seen this time and time again. The amount of times I've seen it in the last year where I've bought a house, I'm going to buy another house, I'm buying assets all around the world, and people are still like, oh yeah, but did you see that guy's new car? And it's like, it's not as much as a house. It's like, do you know how many extra financial hoops you have to jump through to get a house or 2 houses or actually do what we're doing on a daily basis? It's almost impossible for everybody else, which is why you don't see anybody do it. And that is why wealth whispers, because a house doesn't rev up and speed down the street. A house just sits there and looks nice, and it doesn't feel as flashy. I saw a guy talk about this recently. He said that he was handing out gold coins to people that were probably worth about 10 grand. And people were just like, oh, nice. Yeah, thanks. Oh, that's really nice. And then he started giving them silver bars, long silver bars, which are worth around about £1,000. And they were like, oh my God, really? This is for me. So it was worth like 10 times less, but because it was a silver bar, they were super impressed. And that's the nature of humans. People are very impressed by shiny, loud things. And, if you can just bypass all of that and realize what real wealth is and who actually has the money, you will go very far in this world. Number 2 is flashy means that you're going to be buying twice. And what I mean by that is when you buy something flashy, it's going to get old quicker than maybe another car. It's going to get older quicker in the kind of aesthetic eye that you have and the way that you want to impress people. That's going to get older quicker than just a bog standard car that somebody's got, because it gets the kids around and it's a very good car and it does the job. So what you're going to end up doing in order to keep up appearances is you're going to buy a supercar, you're going to buy something flashy, and then maybe 3 years down the line, you're going to go, I need to stay on top. Like everyone expects me to be at a certain level, which means I'm going to have to buy another one again. So then in a 5-year period, you've bought 2 big flashy cars. And during the period of that 5 years, somebody else has just bought 1. So when you buy flashy, you buy twice. If you buy an expensive watch, and then maybe 4 years in, people are like, oh, you've had that watch ages, you should get a different one. A very ego-driven individual will be like, yeah, I think I do. I need to freshen it up, don't I? Like, people have seen me with this loads. Whereas a very level-headed individual will be like, I've got this one. I don't need another one. It's fine. So if you buy flashy, you end up buying twice from my experience. Next up is believe nothing you hear and only 50% of what you see. This is an old quote, and I actually think it's gotten worse. I actually think now when they say believe nothing of what you hear and only 50%, I think with social media, I now think that's around about 20 to 10% of what you actually see, maybe 10%. I think what people are putting out online and what you can cleverly do now. I mean, people are renting watches. You got 100-gram watches and people are renting them for a week, taking loads of photos with them, taking videos and then just giving them back. And it's costing them like £1,000 to do so. It's nuts what's happening now. Like the way that people are able to get their hands on assets and fake their lifestyle, it's pretty crazy. And then you've got women that are using Facetune. They got the fake lips, the fake boobs, the fake ass, the fake hips. And it's like, yeah, you can't believe 9 out of 10 things that you see now. It's pointless. So that would be my advice to you guys when it comes to kind of looking at what people have and their lifestyles. From my experience, what you see and then what you actually meet in person is entirely different. Nobody looks the same, number one. Nobody actually acts like that. And number 3, they don't have as much money as they're pretending to have. It was disappointing at the start. When I first started doing it, I was like, fuck, everyone's actually broke. I was like meeting these people, getting on calls with them, and I was like, they're clueless. Everyone's actually broke. They're all full of shit. And then as time went on, I was like, yeah, it's everybody. Who cares? Like, it is what it is. Let's just move past it. It's just a game that everyone's playing, and I don't want any part of it. So the next one is, you make more when you focus on inputs, not outcomes. So when you're sat there and you're like, if I can make this much, I can go and get this. If I can do this, I can get this. I just need $1 million to be able to get that house and that car. You don't really make money because you're chasing something that doesn't really exist. You're chasing something that's fickle. You're wishing for it. It's not a big motivating factor. You could be motivated one day and the next day feel like shit, and it just goes on and on and on. So it's too inconsistent. Whereas when you just know that you have to do these 5 things on repeat for 5 years and you just wake up and do them, the money aspect takes care of itself. Whatever you need just happens. You know, you just go, okay, we've got 5 things that are the core fundamentals of what we do or what I do in the workplace or whatever it is. And let me just do them every day. And it applies to everything. I mean, if you were in a relationship or a marriage and you just said, if I do these 5 things really well every single day, she's probably going to continue loving you and it's going to go well. And it's not a lot that you have to do. You just have to find the 5 most important, most effective things for your business, for your 9-to-5 job, whatever it might be, and just go, okay, let me just be very good at those 5 things every single day of my life. Let me just see if I can work on them every day and push them forwards. And if I do, I think the results are going to come. And you just stay patient, and eventually they do. And then you don't get carried away. You just keep doing what got you to the dance, and you do them very well. You focus on the inputs, and the outcomes, they take care of themselves. You don't need to worry about it. But when you're just sat there saying, I need to do it so I can have this and that, it has a backwards effect. It doesn't work as well. Just focus on the basic, boring inputs. It's the only way. So next up is, it's not your money until it's your money. I've told you guys this before a long time ago. You might do like 100K in a month. Don't touch that money. Don't touch it. Don't do anything with it. Just leave it in the bank because it's not your money until it's your money. And I found that it's roughly about a year's delay, but sometimes 2. So I tend to wait like a year and a half before I actually go and spend the money that I made. But there is a serious delay. It's not your money because you're going to get it taken from taxes. You're going to get it taken from life. Things are going to break. You're going to have to pay for things. And you just don't really know how much is your money until life kind of unfolds. And then you sit there one day and you go, that's a big chunk I've got sat there and I don't think anybody's coming for it. Yeah, like I've done everything I need to do. That's mine and more is coming in. Okay, I think I can spend a little bit of it. I think I'm going to be okay. That's the way I've started living, because when you first start making money, you'll get very excited and you'll sit there and you'll go, okay, I think I'm rich now. I think I can afford things. Let me go and enjoy myself. Yeah, I do need those shoes. I've waited 10 years for those shoes. And it's like, yeah, but you didn't wait for those shoes. You were just too broke to buy them. This is the first time you've had money. You weren't patient. You just didn't have the money to get them. So don't go, I've earned them. I deserve them now. It's like, you've done nothing to deserve them. In order to deserve them, you have to sit on the money that enables you to be able to buy it for an extended period of time. If you can sit on that money for 2 or 3 years and then you go and buy it, then great. I always wanted a Bodeskin jacket and a Breitling watch. The Bodeskin jacket, well, this is actually a Bodeskin jacket, but I had a different one. And I eventually bought it. It took me around about 8 years to buy both. I think 9 years for the watch, 8 years for the jacket, and I had the money that whole time. I actually gave the jacket away because I got too big for it. But the watch I'm actually wearing now, and I had pictures of it on my phone for years. I had restaurants that I wanted to go to for years, and I just waited like 8 years to be able to exercise that ability. And that's what you have to do. It's not your money until it's your money, but people spend it before they realize it's theirs. So next up is to put every penny back into sustainable wealth, not materialistic stuff. Okay, when you go and buy the nice jacket, you go and buy the nice shoes, the car, and all this stuff, you look good. You do look good, and it does make everyone think you're doing well. Might even trick me after saying all of this. I might even sit there and go, he's smashing it, he's doing well. But how many times have we heard of somebody's just wealth just crumble? They have to take a back step or sell everything, or things haven't gone well and they've gone bankrupt after making X amount of money. It's just because, like I said before, it's not your money until it's your money. And they go and spend it on stuff they don't need, and they go and buy all this expensive shit. You see them with the beautiful woman driving around in the nice car, and it's like, oh my God, I want their life. And some people think that by doing that, you'll make more money because people will want to live like you, especially in this industry. For a while, but it's not sustainable because people will realize like you're kind of full of shit. Because like I said, you can't keep doing it. If it doesn't work, it means you are going bankrupt. So the best strategy you can do is be patient, take your time, go a little bit slower, put money into things that are going to pay off in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, make a 10-year plan for all of it, take your time, tick your boxes, focus on your inputs, and it'll all come together. If you put it into sustainable assets, like you get a second, third, fourth, fifth bite of the cherry. The thing is, if you go and, I don't know, let's say you make $1 million in 3 years, you go and put that into assets that are now paying you money. Worst case scenario, everything goes wrong, you lose everything and whatnot, but you're still making 10 grand a month residual because of the £1 million in assets that you've got. So 10 grand a month is coming in and you go, okay, what's my next idea? What am I going to work on? Like, it just allows you to continue that freedom. And that for me is more important than, trying to throw the balls at the wall and just hope that it works. Next up is to become financially educated. I cannot encourage you to do this one enough. So when it comes to the language of money, people just think, oh, it just means, there's more zeros in your bank account. It is very complicated. You can save yourself a fortune in taxes. You can save yourself a fortune when you're buying properties. You can set up deals that you didn't know were available before. Like, I used to use my own money for everything. And then people said to me, as long as you've got a big lump sum in the bank, private lenders will give you a fortune. It's like, as long as you can show that you have a big chunk of cash in the bank and that you have healthy books for a few years and it's still coming in, just use their money. They're like, why would you use your own money? And they explained it to me and said it will be tax-free. And then you go, oh, okay. And once you start learning the stuff like buy, borrow, die, you start understanding these strategies, you get a lot smarter, you make better decisions, you stop making mistakes, you protect the money that you do have. And then you almost can buy twice. So if you use somebody else's money, but you still have yours, you can buy again. Or you can just continue living and having the running costs of the business and you're just paying back a small loan. It's good debt. It's understanding these terms. It's understanding how things work and how rich people actually move their money around and use it to its utmost ability. This is why taxes are always going up, because it just creates an even bigger gap between the wealthy and everybody else, because people are too lazy to go and educate themselves. They could do the same shit. They could manipulate the system in the exact same way, but because they're too lazy to actually look for these things, they never do it. And it's a cheat code. So next up is every penny not spent is 100% profit, tax-free. People forget that, okay? So if you go and, let's say if you go and buy something and then you get it for a cheaper price and whatnot, you're still spending money. Let's say you go and earn more money. Let's say you go and make an extra 10 grand a month. Okay, maybe 5 of that actually goes in your back pocket at the end of the year. But if you just don't spend money, if you just don't spend anything, you end up saving that 100% tax-free. Every penny not spent. And I'm not talking like, I just spent £200 on Spanish lessons for the month. That's locked in every month. I've just paid for something, I'll tell you guys about it soon, but I've just paid for something that's going to benefit my life massively and potentially about to drop another big lump sum on house too. They're good. I have no problem with doing stuff like that. Education, anything that pushes your life forward, anything that benefits you is great. I think you should always spend on those sort of things if it improves you or your life. That's never wasted money. But when like, I look at it as, I don't know, if somebody was spending £100 per month on subscriptions or £200 per month on Deliveroo and Uber Eats, I'd be like, that's £300 pure profit, tax-free every month you could be putting in your back pocket. End of the year, you're 3.6k up. Like nobody's coming for that money. You're going to get taxed on what you earn anyway. So it's just like whatever you don't spend just goes straight into your back pocket and goes into your bank account. So if you can only spend on the important things, everything else that you save, if you can find ways to do that, is pure profit. And that's the way I look at it. Every time I go out to have a coffee, I'm like, I've got coffee at home. And it's so small, I know, but well, it isn't. When you're in London, it's about 1,600 extra per year on top of places like Granada, as I said to you guys, is why it's not the main reason, but it's a big reason as to why I made the decision to leave the UK. It was one of the extra factors, the extra nail in the coffin at the end. I was like, the cost of living here is getting ridiculous. And if you can save all of that, and you can live in such a manner that is just improving you and your life, and making you a better individual, and you're just saving as much money as possible, that is, like I said, tax-free. It's actually, if you don't spend £2,000 and you get a £2,000 pay rise, you're actually better off by not spending the £2,000, because the £2,000 pay rise, even though it's the same amount of money, you'll get taxed on that, and it'll go into your national insurance, pension, etc. The actual money that you save will 100% go into your back pocket. So it's more on you than it is anything else. Now, earning more money is a cheat code. If you can earn more money and spend less money, you win. But people always overlook the fact of like, end of the year, you might be 20 grand up. 20 grand might be enough to put 10 into your favorite cryptocurrency that you've done a lot of research on. It explodes and goes to the moon. I mean, I did it with Solana. It looks as though I'm doing it with synthetics now. So it happens. Like, it doesn't take too much. It's just being switched on. The next one is focus on what makes the most and do it more. So I had to find this out over the last few years. Probably 2 years ago, I really figured it out. I was trying to do a lot. I was trying to do so much. I was trying to put money into different pots, time and energy into different pots. It doesn't really work. The best way is what I'm doing now, where I'm fully focused on one MI, just one thing. Because every single day you just have one goal where you go, how do I make it better? How do I wake up and just make one MI better? Oh, and also I'll go to the gym, eat some food, and just kind of manage my life. That's easy. That is so easy to do. But if your one big core main fundamental is I have this one thing that I need to work on every day, that's where my focus and attention is. And I'm just going to pick 5 mini things within that main thing, and I'm going to do them every day and focus on inputs. The results will just speak for themselves. And it's so much easier when you just focus on one thing rather than trying to diversify your attention. And until you've got departments and staff and everything, and you've got people to do certain jobs, you have to just be so solely focused on one thing. I actually kind of learned this by looking at like UFC and boxing. As soon as a guy would like have a family, he had kids and a missus, he would suck. Like if he was the champion, he'd get beat quick. And it was like, yeah, because he's now diverting his attention between his kids and his career, which is fine. Like you have to do it at some point. If I was an athlete, I would actually wait until I'm retired to have kids and have a family. I'd be like, that's just the benefit and the curse of my life. I'd be like, that's the trade-off. Because as soon as you split that focus, you're getting knocked out. And it's the same with your money. Next up is post and leave Scam City. I'm talking about social media. This will make you a lot more money. Just post what you need to post and get the fuck out of there. I have all of those apps. I don't have TikTok. I'm going to get somebody to just do it for me because I can't be fucking bothered to go on that shitty platform. But when it just comes to YouTube, Instagram, I don't consume any content. I'm telling you guys now, I do not watch anything. I do not look at anything. I do not doom scroll. I never have. I don't watch anything. The only thing I'll watch is maybe highlights of football. I'll watch Man City highlights and it will take me 5 minutes and then I'm like, right, I'm out, I'm done. Or if somebody says you have to watch this movie trailer, I'll be like, okay, I wouldn't mind seeing if it's going to be a decent movie. Let's go and have a look. And that's it. I just kind of post and leave. That's all I do. I just post my content and I get out of there. There's some good people out there. There's some good education out there. And if you can find those videos, and occasionally I watch some history stuff, then great. But the majority of people are just trying to sell you something. And the majority of people have got a hidden agenda. And the majority of people are full of shit. That's the problem. And they're all scamming you. And like, you got to remember, I'm behind the scenes. I know how much these people are making. They confide in me. They message me. They ask me certain things. I see their lifestyle behind the scenes. I see them at their worst, and they'll reach out to me. But online, they're presenting themselves as multimillionaires. And I'm like, and that's the people I know. So God knows what everyone else is doing. It's like, I don't want to be near it. I just want to be around it. It's toxic. When you're looking at it, it hurts your head. I don't like it. Next up, final two. We've got find a great woman, she centers you. Now, I always said to you guys, when you were young, stay selfish. I truly believe in that still. I'm talking about when you get closer to my age, you've got to find a great woman to center you. Yeah, I think if you've got a great woman in your life, it makes you go, do I go and buy that 200 grand Lamborghini? And then she's like, no. Why would, like, are you stupid? Like, who are you doing it for? And you're like, yeah, fuck, good point. And it's like, why don't you just put it back into something useful, like the business? Or why don't you just buy an asset with it, an actual house? Why don't you invest it in something? And you're like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've got a future together. Let's build for me and you. It centers you. It just makes you look at things a little bit differently. And I just think it's really useful once you get to a certain age where you are dating good, because what I mean by be selfish when you're younger is you can't get the good women anyway. You're too young, you're too inexperienced. You don't have the money and stuff like that. There's no point you even dating. But you get to a certain level, 28, 29, 30, and you start going, beautiful high-level women are actually starting to find me attractive, and I actually think there's a future here. That's when she'll come in, she'll center you, she'll have proper goals. She's not leading with ego, whereas you are. And you're very much like, imagine the black Lamborghini there. And she's like, no, we don't need it. Where are we going to put the suitcases? Where are our kids going to sit? And you're like, yeah, good point. It centers you, it calms you down. It means that you're not running around trying to impress women, going out on dates. It means that you're just working on what needs to be done to build something great for you and her. And that is a major benefit to your life. The final one is don't hire anybody until absolutely necessary. I see this all the time, and this is even with a 9-to-5 job. If you've got a 9-to-5 job, don't hire a cleaner yet. There's no need. Like everyone says, oh, free up your time. You don't have that little time until you get to a real high elite level. Like everyone thinks they're like Bill Gates when I'm doing like 50 grand a year, I need a cleaner. It's like, are you fucking for real? 50 grand a year is chump change, like in the early days. You need to save as much of that as possible. I mean, I was doing 60 grand a year working in finance, walking to work to save £350, and people thought I was crazy. And I was like, it's £350 per month. That's a huge whack of money. I was like, are you for real? It's like about 3.7 thousand per year, if my maths is correct. I was like, that's a huge amount of money that I could put into something. Are you crazy? Just for a year of walking to work and being in better shape? Of course I'm going to do that. But people hire too quickly. When it comes to business, oh, I need a staff member. It's like, you need to stop being a lazy little bastard. That's what you need to do. You need to go and sit at your desk and work until midnight and then get up again at 6, 7 a.m. and do it all again. You need to work weekends. That's what you need to do. And the money that you would save, you would then be able to put back into the business. Because in the early days, just capital is king. The more money that you have available, the better. The more capital that you can put your hands on, the more likely you are to succeed. I'll be talking about this in another video. But the more that you can just go, I've got an extra 10 grand to play around with, like your chances of success just fly through the roof. If you're in business and you get your hands on a loan of like 200-300K, your chances of success go through the roof. You can't do a lot with, small amounts of money. It doesn't go far. So you have to save as much as you can, whack it into things that you're working on, put it into things that are going to improve you, make you a better man, and then you go from there. But it's so stupid. Everyone's like, right, I need a cleaner, I need a chef, I need a driver. Not yet. Like, unless you're doing like 5 million a year, 10 million a year, you don't even need to consider those things yet. You're not that busy. Like, you've got billionaires that are able to socialize and go out to parties. Like, come on. You're not that busy. Elon Musk has time to play video games. You're not that busy. Let's relax. Let's lower our ego and just stop this. If it actually calculates, like, because people go, I'm losing this per hour. It's like, yeah, but you don't really make your money like per hour. You make your money off like deals that come in residually. Like, you're just sat there and you're like, oh, we just made more money. Do you know what I mean? It's more about what you do and then what you put out into the world that then works for you. If you were a lawyer, I'd be like, okay, I get it, because you actually do get paid per hour. I actually understand that. But outside of that, it's like, no, you have a system that's in place that makes you money while you're asleep. Like, you don't actually need, like, it's so fucking stupid. Save your money, put it into growth, Just keep putting it back in as much as you can put your hands on and you will win.